The state of Georgia chalked up a victory for our right to bear arms this February the 19th, 2014. Here's the headlines, and I will put the link below. Georgia House votes to allow guns in bars, churches. Coming out of Reuters. Atlanta, February 18th. Georgia lawmakers on Tuesday voted to allow bars and churches to decide for themselves whether to let gun owners carry weapons into their buildings. The measure heads for the state Senate after the members of Georgia's House of Representatives approved the legislation with a 119 to 56 vote, according to the chamber's Twitter account. The rights of gun owners became a major political issue in 2012 when the United States experienced a rash of false flag events, a rash of mass shootings, including a massacre that claimed the lives of 20 first graders and 6 adults in Newtown, Sandy Hook, Connecticut, along with all the crisis actors. Gun control and gun rights advocates have turned their respective efforts to state houses after gun control legislation stalled in the U.S. Congress. Under the Georgia bill, churches and bars would be allowed to decide whether to allow weapons inside their buildings, according to the legislation's sponsor, Rick Jasper, a Republican. We don't need to be penalizing law-abiding citizens and taking away their Second Amendment rights, Jasper said, referring to the U.S. Constitution's right to bear arms. The legislation would allow secondary schools to decide whether to allow teachers and administrators to carry weapons. The big picture. Banks have armed security guards. Jewelry stores. The owners and employees are armed. Have you ever walked into a pawn shop and the employees behind the counter, they are armed? But where do the crazed, non-law-abiding citizens of the world, who do they pick on? Who do they prey upon? Those in schools, those in gun-free zones, movie theaters. Wake up, America. See the bigger picture of what's going on here. The legislation does not represent the majority of people in Georgia, but only a small number of gun advocates, said Mary Margaret Oliver, a Democrat, who voted against the bill. Remember that name, Mary Margaret Oliver, of Georgia, a Democrat. She doesn't like the bill. She likes to see mass murders in a schoolyard. If the bill passes, gun owners will be able to take their weapons into governmental buildings if security screens are not in place, but guns would remain prohibited in courthouses and prisons. Chalk up a victory for our right to bear arms from the great state of Georgia. Once again, I'll put the link below. Georgia House votes to allow guns in bars and churches. Leave me comments and subscribe to my channel.